To start by kind of giving a little Cliff's Note version of what is in my video that I uploaded to YouTube earlier. And then I'll let you to I'll answer any questions that you guys might have. So the first thing that you're going to do is log on to Google Classroom. Remember that you can do that by accessing your waffle over here in the Google Apps corner. And then going to Classroom. The more that you use this, it will eventually come closer to the top of the list on the waffle. And then Google is enough so that if all the domains are like classroom.google.com, things like that. So that you can do meet.google.com, mail.google.com. Anyway, so it's you can kind of usually figure out where you're supposed to be. So then what you're going to do is make sure that you have made yourself a teacher when you join Google Classroom for the first time. If you signed in as a student for the first time, you'll have to email me because we'll have to get you set up with Larry because that causes some weird things. You're going to click the plus when making your brand new Google Classroom. You're not going to join a class. That's what the students will do. You are going to create a, and then you're going to type in like biology. Section, I will write test. You could write A day, B day. You don't even have to fill in the section if you don't want to. If you're feeling fancy, you could type in a subject. Google will kind of auto-populate these things, and that gives us the opportunity to have pretty little, I don't know, icons basically. Room number doesn't matter, so you go ahead and hit create. And then it will take a second. The internet has been a little slow today, as I'm sure you guys have noticed, while people have, the millions of people in the world have been logging on at the same time. Remember that it will take you immediately to your stream page. The stream is like a stream of consciousness. I don't really like to use this page very much. It has things in weird orders, and it's a little tough to figure out what's going on from this page. It's more like a Facebook feed than it is like an organized classroom setup. The classwork page, on the other hand, is really, really helpful. I will get to that in a moment. Probably one of the things you're going to wonder is, how am I going to get my kids onto this actual classroom page? You're going to click over here. You'll see that it has a class code. If you click that little display icon, you can just copy and paste this, and you can send it out via Skyward. These students will be able to type in that code, bam, then they are in your classroom. I will show you in a little bit what the student view is going to look like too. So you'll have your codes there, and then we're going to go to the classwork tab because I am assuming people want to make assignments. What you're going to do first is go ahead and click on the Create button. Today I am only going to be talking about two of the kinds of categories. There are more. You can get really complex with this, but we're just going to keep it simple for now. You're going to go ahead and click on Assignment, and then you're going to type in, I don't know, COVID-19. That could be your name of your assignment. The instruction section, a lot of kids don't read this, so that's worth knowing. And then you want to be sure to keep your instructions sweet, straight to the point, and also there's like no formatting period at all in the instruction box. It can't bold, it cannot underline, it cannot make charts, nothing. So you would do something really simple like watch video, and then maybe like fill out sheet. I don't know, whatever you want to type. The next thing that you're going to do is make sure that you are having some additional materials. You can add a YouTube video. So for you people who are planning on making your own like lectures and stuff to go out, you would probably want to upload it to YouTube and then access it there. So I could just be like corn. There's a corn video I like. And it will search things, and there, all of a sudden, how to remove kernels. We're going to learn all about that today in bio. The next thing that you can do is add some kind of a sheet that you want the kids to actually fill out, right? So I would go to Add. This is something that I would have already had prepared. So I would have a doc already. And from that doc, we are going to use that as a template to send out to students. If you remember from my previous videos, I highly recommend using shared drives to house all of your documents. It's much more streamlined than the MyDrive, than uploading things, all that type of stuff, all right? Shared drives is the way to go for collaboration. I will get into that a little bit more. I have a previous training, and then tomorrow morning, me and Megan Artisan will be talking a little bit about how we use that to implement special ed stuff. So I will go to biology. I have a master document of some kind. I tend to like these fill in the blank type of things. If you like that sort of template, I did link to one in that sheet where you would have found the URL for this video now. So in the Google Doc that I sent out previously. And this is really important. Right here, it says students can view file. Probably don't want that. You probably want them to have something that they can type in on their own that is not something anyone else can type in, right? So to do that, this is a drop-down menu. You are going to change that to make a copy for each student. This is essential. This means that they won't be working on the same thing. All right, they have their own thing. It automatically titles it for them. It organizes it for them. It has whatever you typed into the original already there. So it's really, really, really super important to push this button. If you just have like directions that you want somebody to read, honestly, you can add that as a view file that they can't change. However, based on the fact that we have a bunch of kids who are going to try to be working through this stuff on their own, I really would recommend just embedding the directions into your template, whatever you're using. So like pop in a YouTube link here, pop in directions here. So it's really easy step by step. And maybe do like, if you're at the high school, maybe you would have week 1 all in one doc. If you're working at elementary, maybe you would have day 1, Monday, all in one doc, Tuesday, all in one doc. Okay. So so anyways, this is a pretty good way to do things. It's hard for them to screw up is kind of the moral of the story there. Then once you have your assignment, you've made a copy, you've attached the video or whatever you want them to do, you can go ahead and change the number of points. I'm going to have this worth 1 point. It's going to be 1 point if they did the work that week, 0 if they didn't show up for like attendance. And then you can have your due date. So maybe you want it due on Friday. Okay. If you don't enter in a time, it will default to 11:59 p.m., which is the end of the day. You can then choose a topic if you wish. So create topic. So maybe my topic would be week 1. And then you're kind of pretty much ready at this point to send out your assignment. You can either push assign. Assign will allow things to go out live. It will go out right then at that moment. I usually do this a lot at school. However, based on the fact that we are going to be working together for a lot of this stuff, probably you're going to want to save it as a draft so that other people in your team can double check it. And then later, after you've confirmed that you've all looked at that, you can go ahead and send it out. So I'm going to show you how to save it as a draft. If you're feeling really organized, you could also schedule it. I wouldn't work too far ahead on this because you're going to probably want to feel out about how, like maybe do the first week or 2, but then you want to see how well your kids are doing before you get too far in the curriculum planning process. So right now, this is my teacher dashboard, and you will see that my assignment is there under the category week 1, and that's listed as draft. That means the children cannot see it. So to fix that, let's say that I wanted to show it, I would just go to edit, and then once I'm sure that I like it, assign. And then they'll double check to make sure that you really want to send it out. And then this will push out a copy to every single student in that class, which is pretty neat. And I'll show you guys in a moment what that looks like from the student view. But the big difference here is you guys will see that instead of this being gray, it's blue. So if it's this light blue or green or whatever color you choose, that means that it has already gone out to the students, basically. If you screw up and you don't know how to fix it, that's okay. Just delete the assignment and start over. Not a big deal. The kids will be like, where did it go? Or they won't even notice. Who cares? It's fine, just scroll with it a little bit. I delete assignments frequently. I make many mistakes. And they are forgiving of you if you do that. So do not be afraid to delete and start over from scratch if you need to. Okay, so that is kind of the basis of creating a assignment that you want to be turned in. This is something I want to grade. Now, let's say that I want to post a textbook link or something like that I don't want to be graded. I don't want it to show up as missing on their assignment list. I'm actually going to put that in as something called a material. And then the material, it's really similar to the other formats. But the big difference is, let's say that I'm going to use my same thing here. What you guys will see is there's no button for make a copy. There's no view only button, none of that. So what this is doing is this is making it so it's automatically view only for students. And they can't actually edit anything. So this is purely informational. So again, things that you're going to use a lot, like the textbook link maybe, or if you have like Quizlet links, things like that, those are good things to have as materials. So my topic, maybe I would write, textbook or something. And then you can choose to send it out to whoever. Something that you guys, I didn't show you in the last one that I'll show you now, is you can push things out to more than one class at a time if you wish. So you can check boxes for however many sections you wish to. I'm going to uncheck these because these are my real classes. I don't want them getting this random thing. And you can also choose which students it goes out to. More on that to come tomorrow. So I'm feeling good about my textbook information. I'm going to push post. That means students immediately have access. It's also possible to reorganize these. So let's say I want textbook at the bottom instead, or if I want at the top, you can just drag it, right? Put it in the order that you wish it to, because this is going to fill up pretty quickly. So over on the left here, they also have these filters. You can just go to week 1. You can click on textbook and go to week 2 if you wish. Sorry, excuse me. And then kids can have a better idea of where to be. I did have a question about adding teachers to the class. To add teachers, again, I'll go over this in more detail tomorrow too, but essentially you're going to go to this people tab in whatever class you're interested in, and then you're just going to push the little plus. Whee! And then you can type in your teachers. Important thing to note, they do have to be using their ecsdnet.org domain. This will not work with the Evansville K-12. Do not use that email. That email is dead to you, except for on actual emails. But in terms of like Google products, you're always going to be using your ecsdnet.org account. And just an FYI, that password is linked to whatever your normal password is. So if your password is password1 at school, it's still going to be password 1 for this ecsdnet.org account. So they do try to keep them the same in terms of that, which is nice. We'll cancel that. And then, oh gosh, why is it? Okay, so anyways, you have this sort of stuff. So let's take a moment and I'm going to show you a little bit about what the student view is going to look like. So let's pretend I wanted to join this class. So we have our little code here. You can add the students manually if you want to. So maybe if you are a kindergarten person or a first grade person, it would be prudent to add those kids, for you. If 30 of them or something, right? High school, don't do that. You have 140 students.